at you from the Science March in the city of
Going on, party
Brilliance.
people?
That's
What's going
right.
on?
What we got for you right about now is, I guess, a conclusion of our Science March coverage.
Yes,
pretty much wrapping up over there. There's really not so many people's left, and just got a couple words to speak upon in closing. I don't know what you got for us.
I wanted to specifically talk about the budget cuts of the proposed fiscal year for 2018 of the current administration. And whenever the talks about these were being conducted, that's what kind of gave rise to this movement. Like we spoke on in the previous one, this wouldn't even be occurring. Like, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah.
But necessity dictates behavior, and these motherfuckers got to behave as necessary.
And there you
What's
have it.
necessary? Standing up for science and scientific endeavor, scientific pursuit. Because why?
Because it's knowledge.
It's knowledge.
It's knowledge. That's the etymology. Like, it's literally in Latin means knowledge. So without knowledge, we wouldn't be where we are right now. We wouldn't have evolved to this point.
Because science, knowledge, it's much like humanity. It evolves over the course of time. I mean, I was just in between the break, I was talking to Roe about how these buildings behind us, I mean, they're a testament to knowledge. Like the architecture, the design of it all, it's a testament to knowledge. Just the structural integrity of the concrete alone is a testament towards knowledge and its evolution. Those fucking concrete blocks back there, I mean, it's not like they're not reinforced with rebar, you know what I'm saying? Strengthening, you know, the integrity of the piece.
And we learned to put those in there.
Through observation,
to do that.
demonstration, practice, refinement.
That's another reason why science is superior to religion, because it's constantly changing. Like, the scientists can admit that they're wrong. Like, I went in December, I went to the Talk Nerdy podcast. It was like a live podcast at the Paramount venue. And Brian Greene, Michio Kaku, and James Gates were there. They're all physicists. And they just straight up said, like, hey, if we're wrong, I mean, we'll just say it. We're not going to dance around and just be like, oh no, let's make up a whole bunch of these crazy things to kind of sway public opinion. No, we're just going to be truthful. So, you know, to seek truth is the responsibility of intellectuals, according to Noam Chomsky.
Oh, and that's an excellent reference to drop there.
So, if you're an intellectual, which you are now because you're watching this,
Because we're lighting your ass.
so that you're automatically in the club. Now it is your mission to expose lies and seek out truth.
There you go.
So
That's
I'm
keep
gonna
you busy for a while.
another name drop. My good buddy Brian Foss. He's an engineer. He's a fellow Bernie delegate. So for all you people that are following us there, he couldn't make it to the march today, but he made some signs that he was gonna hold up, and one of the signs listed all of the proposed cuts of the various agencies for the 2018 fiscal year. And this information is coming at you from the March 16th edition of Science, so it's very reputable. ARPA from the Department of Energy, minus 100%. So just
They cut their funding 100%.
so just axed. That's gone.
What's that organization? ARPA?
It's ARPA within the Department of Energy. So not DARPA, like from the Pentagon.
Okay.
But, yeah. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, minus 52%.
Well, we don't need any more funding to that because, I mean, it's not like there's a whole bunch of radiation that's been leaking
No, I
into
know,
the
right?
Atlantic Ocean or
Yeah.
Pacific Ocean for, what, 10 years now?
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay.
The research and development part of the EPA, minus 48%. The energy research from the Department of Energy, minus 44%.
Because we don't need any more efficiency.
So the research and energy of the Department of Energy is being cut. I don't know if that's actually
Sounds like a
laughable.
conflict. Yeah, it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah. The EPA in general, minus 30%. The National Institute of Health, that's minus 20%. The The science research within the Department of Energy, that is minus 17%. The satellites of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, minus 16%. We need those crafts up there to let us know how things are working, to give us the models and the data to like see how the situation is on the Earth. Because we don't have those satellites up there, then we're not going to be conducting any research to see how the oceans and how the atmosphere is working.
It'll interfere with our waiting, watching, and learning.
It will. The National Institute of Science and Technology, it's minus 13%. The United States Geological Survey, that's minus 10%. And icing on the cake, NASA Earth Science, minus 5%. And let me just tell you that if you think that 5% is a low number, you're wrong. Because NASA only has like the tiniest fraction.
Don't they get like half a cent every dollar that's, you know?
If it's not that, then it's something crazy like that, of that nature. So minus 5%, dude, minus 1% would be egregious. So minus 5 is like fivefold that. They're cutting things that ought not to be cut, and they're focusing things on things that shouldn't be focused on. It's illogical, and it's going against reason, you know, which brings me to what I wanted to say about the general benefit of science, and goes along with, you know,
the
like
value
developing
of
knowledge to develop architecture and anything else you can think of.
Well, I mean, it's just like you take into consideration, as I said earlier, you know, it's like anything that's not a carbon-based life form that wouldn't be growing naturally within, you know, the environment anyway, is a testament towards knowledge. I mean, it is applied knowledge, demonstrable knowledge. Again, I mean, as we sit in this very well-manicured park in a downtown, you know, it's like everywhere you look is a testament towards our knowledge, with the buildings, within the fucking lights, the electricity that you know, powers the lights.
The cars, the phone that we're using to broadcast this podcast.
Exactly.
You know, just, and that, you know, and that reminds me of, to go back to like the people that suppress science and deny it, and like, you know, just second guess it and just kind of belittle it. They're going to be so quick to dismiss it, but then what'd you say whenever they're in late
but whenever
for work?
they're, you know, they're late for work, they got to get in their fucking car to get to work on time. Well, they're going to be awful thankful that scientific endeavor developed all of the components, you know, necessary for a car to be facilitated, especially a modern car. It's not like they got to go and crank that shit up, you know.
They're going to dismiss it, but then whenever they get sick, they're going to go to the doctor
to, you know, get a direct link up to his knowledge, a testament to his science,
to his expertise, because they know things that we don't know, or that the average person doesn't know.
Because the average person, when going to the doctor, is within the shade of the brilliance, the brilliant minds of the doctors and the institution of their collected foundation of knowledge that specializes in health and healing. But then again, there is something to be said for corrupt development, and the idea that there are scientists that unfortunately are beholden to the economical influences of big corporations.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's a situation because you'll get them countering arguments with various spin, you know, and the utilization and incorporation of doublespeak, alternative facts, pseudoscience, fucking truthiness, etc., etc., etc.
All of these campaigns to get you to think a certain way.
Thing is, man, if it's true, it can be demonstrated to be true. Truth is self-evident. If I mean, you don't need to know. You don't need to really conclude that something's bullshit if it sounds like it's more complex and convoluted than it needs to be.
Yeah, like this battle that they've started, this war actually that they've started, like it's inevitable that they're going to lose because truth is self-evident. Science, studying science, it teaches you how to reason. It teaches you how to think critically. It teaches you how to think for yourself.
which I would venture to guess, because I don't know, but I would venture to guess that the vast majority of individuals out here in defense of science, what would you suggest the religious background might be?
They're either religious or they're more on the moderate side. They're definitely not fundamentalists.
Well, no, not at all. I would suggest, but I mean, I usually, I don't necessarily equate, but perhaps I'm assuming and making an ass out of myself, but
assuming?
Yeah, I'm assuming, but I don't know. I usually assume that most folks who are in advocacy of science, like scientists, I know you don't have to be a degree holding,
like you and I.
Exactly. I wouldn't call myself a scientist, but
by the definition that the speaker gave,
yes,
you do make observations.
I do
record your
quite
data
a little bit, and
explain your data.
well, that's what I don't know, kind of
That's what you're doing right now.
Well, I'm derailing. My data's kind of fucking all sorts of mixed up now, but essentially I don't know. What was I saying? I don't even fucking remember what I was saying, people.
It happens all the time.
It does happen all
But
the
just
time.
thinking critically and the ability to reason, that comes from studying complex things. And you're not going to get reason if you're just following along, if you're just going to be a sheep, a robot.
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
All
go
right,
ahead.
but I usually make the presumption that folks who are akin to education, like, I don't want to just say science, but folks within the medical community, people, all right, I'm just going to boil it down to this, education. I usually make the presumption that folks who are educated are atheists. And as a result, I would conclude that if I had to make a bet, most of the folks that were here at the March for the Science are likely atheists.
Right.
You'd agree?
Yeah. Like I said, they're either religious or they're moderates. They're definitely not going to be any hardcore believers.
Right,
Which, by
right,
the way,
right.
that word is fake. It came from the church. Just reminding you.
Yeah.
But in terms of the religious overtone of this, going back to the part one of this broadcast, that is getting in the way wholeheartedly of scientific progression, because religion is not compatible with science at all.
At all.
There is a doctrine called accommodationism, and that's the belief or opinion held that the two can coexist peacefully. And the people that hold these beliefs are the moderates and the fundamentalists. And when I say moderates, I mean moderates of all backgrounds. So you can be a moderate atheist, and you can still believe in accommodationism. So you can be one of those atheists that say,
Well, I mean, yeah, but then there's lots of people who they would call themselves an atheist, and they suggest that they believe in a whole host of other things. So again, I don't know what the hell.
that would be
most people-
considered a moderate. I would consider that atheist to be a moderate.
I would definitely. I don't know, man. Fuck atheism, man. Atheism. I love the notion, but it's far too passive.
Anti-theism
and
is
tolerant.
probably the way to
all
go.
the fucking way.
It's probably the way to go. And going back to that statement about being progressive, we need to progress overall as a species for the survival of humanity, and religion is getting in the way of that. That's why we have these marches. Right now, today's international events are nothing compared to what they're going to be like, 50 years down the line.
Well, hopefully, 50 years down the line, it will be thought upon as laughable to consider that something like this need even be happening in general.
It's laughable right now. We were laughing about it earlier today. We're like, why are we even doing this?
Let's just hope certain. I mean,
I
we're familiar with the current domestic adjutant. Let's be thankful that we only have this one, adjutant that is of a religious motivation, and not another one, which they got a different way of doing things. But I digress.
Like I said, they're concerned about things that we don't need to be concerned with. There's not going to be a human species down the line. Everybody loves to talk about their legacy and like their great grandchildren and what have you down the line. Well, guess what? Those people aren't going to be here if we continue along this path of denying science.
And if they are here, they're going to be born with all sorts of fucked up ailments and not going to be able to live to what would be their normal lifespan. Maybe they might be neutered, and any offspring might have fucking some type of lingering defect, make autism, and anything else might be in the forefront of, child normalcy, for lack of better terms. Yeah, dude, who knows where it's going to go? I mean, especially if climate issues don't, if they remain to get unchecked, or countered even. It's general lack of, dude, everything's well and good now in terms of your ability to go and receive treatment, and the idea that there are individuals working daily on behalf of knowledge, collecting, researking, establishing more of a concrete hold on, the information, and maybe able to make developments that would take us steps further. But to go and stand in the way of their tireless efforts on the behalf of this religious pretense, it's it's an injustice. It's an injustice towards individuals who are working on behalf of humanity. It's like there's a guy, like a surgeon. It's like pestering a surgeon while they're in the middle of surgery, and like trying to get him to play a game of catch with you.
It's like the antithesis of what we're like
What
trying
we
to do.
need.
Like the overall goal of humanity.
Yeah.
So
if there's a collective appreciation for what that overall goal might be.
Because science is true, whether you believe in it or not, deep level, on a very deep level, and understand nature, which is what we need to do in order to progress as a species.
Hey, so I had to resume it, so you might want to just go back like a minute or so, just to recap. You missed about half a minute.
Right on. Shit, I don't know, 5 seconds ago. Where were you 5 seconds ago?
I mean, you can just keep going, but I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
Is this live right now?
It's still live, it just paused it. I just had to press resume.
Okay.
But it's resuming right now.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that phone call thing, but that's what it's about. It's about the progression of the human species. I know that I keep on saying that, but I need to drill it into your minds because that's the importance of this battle.
Religions divide us, where science unites us. And
You can either take religion, which is responsible for all of the egregious events throughout human history, or you can side with science, which is responsible for like the greatest achievements of the human intellect. It's the cornerstone of modern civilization. It's what's gotten us this far. So if we're going to condemn it, then we're going to go backwards. Complete opposite direction of where we need to go.
we are Devo.
Complete opposite direction.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And that's why we came out here today to take part in the whole endeavor of standing united with science.
Yep. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to keep you up to date with the institutions of mind control. We're going to unpack them.
There's further unpackaging?
Well, I'm just
We
getting
still
them
have
up
some
to speed.
episodes that have been shot that y'all haven't seen. So
Exactly. That's why I'm just getting them up to speed on that.
yeah, we're gonna get you up to speed, man.
Because on episode 2, we kind of loosely talked about it. but we kind of gave like a brief overview of it. But we're going to specifically unpack each of the institutions. The umbrella institution, which we consider to be government, because we break down the etymology of government. It's govern, to control, steer, direct.
Navigate, pilot.
Mentality, your mind.
Mental faculties.
So literally it means to control your mind. So that's the umbrella institution. We've got the institution of education, the institution of religion, or the church. Because remember, back in the day, those two were one. The government and the church. They were...
So we pray.
They were together back then. Let's see, the institution of economics. There's, and also there's like lesser institutions as well. There's, like things such as media and drugs and cults and
Culture.
and a whole bunch of other crazy things that people don't even think about. Sports, even.
Sports is a big one.
Sports.
Even some that are far more personal to an individual. Contractual institutions, some contractual, some natural, but the institution of parenthood.
The institution of parenthood and family.
The institution of marriage.
Institution of marriage. Just all of these things that people go about their daily lives without really thinking about, and
It's just part of the program.
And it's just part of the program. And the reason why we're doing this is not to get people to stop doing these things. It's merely to have you aware.
To observe.
It's
these-
merely
these-
to get
these
you
facts.
into the brilliance, as opposed to you staying in the shade. Also,
Get lit, motherfucker.
also in addition to like the official like video episodes, we're gonna start doing a like a regular Undead edition. I know that the couple Undead editions that are out right now, they're like on specific topics. But these new ones that we're gonna release, it's kind of gonna be like an objective look at current events. So maybe we'll do like 2 a month or
Yeah,
something.
we're still trying to.
We're still trying to figure it out. But in
playing
any
it by
case,
ear, so to speak.
yeah. But in any case, that's gonna be coming at you. But purely objective, because I know that this guy and myself were
man.
super opinionated.
Yeah, it tends to happen.
Yeah, super opinionated. We've got.
Science don't care about our opinion.
Oh, but yeah, it doesn't actually.
Fuck our opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't at all. It has.
I'm gonna reject it.
It has a steel fist.
We're getting another call.
Another call.
Can I
All right,
reject
Steel
it?
fist. All right. Well.
It's an Eisenfaust.
Yes.
Okay. Oh shit. Whoa,
It's not
you said-
pausing it though. It's still going.
We're gonna have to wrap this up.
We're
Because
gonna
I
wrap
keep
this
getting
up.
phone calls that need to get addressed. Anything you want to say in closing?
Nope.
Nope. Guys, this